right, that's enough of him all alone like that. That was Cousin Doug tuning in from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Infield, where he has the best cellular reception. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang. I'm Ben, and I'm going to bring in Fruitcake Tony, Butt Cheeks himself, Brendan B. Squared. Yeah, you were in, Doug. He just texted me. Was I in?
We saw you, Doug. He was like, what should I turn my phone this way? Or?
I just said, yep, solo.
Nice.
So, nice. Yes, we're continuing the Memorial Day hang that started last night on Show Me Your Pick, which we're discussing Metal Day of the US Festival, which is possibly the greatest day ever in music. And, excuse me, in live music. Excuse me. And tonight, I said, let's just carry on. So last I know, it was 2:15 a.m. Fruitcake Tony was still doing trivia off air. I don't know. They got 4 questions in. And then I was like, you know what? I have stuff I got to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I only lasted till about 1 something. And I was like, man, I've been up for a lot of hours. I got to go to bed.
we stayed on about another hour.
Did you really?
I guess we tied your record, Ben, from the other week.
Sometimes you just have too much fun to stop, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh gosh, it was so much.
You know, it was a great time, man.
Yeah,
so much fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, nice to see you, Ben, again.
Yeah. It's been. No, I won't answer him by text. He's like, "Why weren't you in there?" Well, because we wanted to throw you under the bus.
I got no idea what to do.
No, it gets a little loud. You have your...
What do you got the fan on? It's a little loud.
Kind of. There's a guy right there. He's kind of like a fan, a big talking fan. See?
Hi. What's up, man?
I'm usually saying, see you, Marcus.
I'm trying to figure out where you are.
The man.
Hi, the man.
You don't know where I am? Let me walk.
Because I'm watching you.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you with one of the car cams. There he is.
Where he is?
There he is. Yeah. You got his name right there.
Okay. Oh, yep. Oh, Chastain just passed you.
Let me see here. I'm gonna try to walk up the ladder with one hand.
I see Chase Elliott. I don't want to spoil it for Ben. We can just hear the Jesus. Here they come.
I'm just gonna pirouette you. I like this.
Yeah, you're going slow. Only 180 miles an hour.
I have no idea.
Yep. Man, that's crazy.
Right to there. There he is.
Ow.
Barely, I'm bleeding. I gotta
go. Wow.
So yeah, when you hear about the stories, that's we're at the penultimate right now, right? Like that's where you have a beer in one hand, a mason jar in the other.
Is he camping out on the infield? Does he have an
right
RV out there?
He's in the campsite.
So okay.
Where he started out.
Where he is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big eating area where feed about 100 wounded warriors, and
Wow.
It looked like he pulled a David Lee Roth with his nose there.
I think
Yeah.
he did, yeah. And then, the campers you have, and you build a platform on top of the camper to stand on to watch the race. And that's, I think, or he was just standing up on the wall there, which is part of the Infield road course, which they still camp right there where you see that piece of asphalt. They're going by on the road course, and you're just like, hey, how you doing? Which I love watching that race, because I'm like, there's the trailer. There's the trailer. Every time there's an in-car coming around the car, I'm like, hey, there's Marshall's trailer. Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So,
That's insane.
So, yes. So I want to shout out, we've got in the chat, BC Rich 581, Thomas Santiago. Hey, Brendan Beat Squared in the chat. Awesome. My Knees Hurt is here. Hip Metal Works, Keith Campbell, my lovely sister Amanda, Half Ace, Tim Thomas, Doug Santinello, I think. I don't know. I never know if I say his name right. Ryan Hall is here. Symmetry is here. I Rock Zed Blues. Randy Crooks. Who else we have? Michael Krause. Joe Herbie 84. Who else?
They're
Starman
sneaking in.
5, Brother Aaron from Albus Band, who will be back. He was on last week, and he'll be back on again next week, because NAMM.
Cool.
So JJ and Aaron will be on next week talking NAMM.
Oh, are they at NAMM now, or is that no? That's in June, right? That's
Next
coming
week.
up.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
That's next week.
Greg Zeppelin,
Yeah.
GPPH2, Matthew Stewart, Octopus Ears, Matthew, Dave the Pious, Ellerin Guitars, Paul McNary, Dan of New Jersey,
Did you say Joe Hervey? Papa Blue?
Joe Hervey, Papa Blue, awesome.
Cool. They're sneaking in.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Doug just texted me to let us know that his nose is bleeding. It's like, yeah, we know.
We saw.
What's up, L. John? Mark Taft, Lawrence Cash.
Nice. Very nice. Good,
Brad Miller.
Good group of people in here.
Yeah. So if you missed the beginning of the show and you want to see what it's like in trying to communicate during a NASCAR race, it's pretty much like your favorite Oomsa bar. You got to yell, and you just do a lot of, I'll have another
and just
beer.
laughing and pointing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's
Laugh
like
and
live
point.
streaming at a concert.
Yeah, forget it. You don't know what
I
you're
just said,
hearing.
I replied to him. We saw that his nose was bleeding. He's like, WTF? I was like, yeah, you.
Put some of that surfy stuff on there. The whiteout stuff.
Yeah. If he's trying to watch on his phone with the cars, watch the race.
Can you really
It's
see
paid
it?
good
I
money to
guess
be
you
there.
can't see it. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say what happened because Ben didn't watch it yet.
Just something happened.
Something happened.
That's fine.
They're
Eddie
going
Van Haskell's
around,
here.
and then they're going around still.
Will Mr. Green be joining us tonight?
I don't know. I sent him the link.
I hadn't talked to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also sent Tommy the link. So we'll see if Tom shows up. Although I remember Tom was having surgery this past week. So
Oh,
getting
really?
his finger worked on.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is nice, Ben, not to have to reach to grab a mouse while
It
I'm
is
sitting here.
nice, isn't it, Tony? You just
Yeah,
sit back, relax,
Hmm.
Yes. There's Doug in the chat, down and back cornhole podcast, which I played, I don't know, 20, 30 games of cornhole this past week against Mark Taft here in the chat. I did not win a single game. That's fine. Although the closest, he did beat me one game 21-20. So there was that point. And that's because I scored a bunch of points at one end to make it.
I can't believe they have it like on ESPN now. The cornhole.
I can't believe they let cousin Doug commentate on it on ESPN. For Canadian tournaments, the color man is him, Mr. Infield himself. It looks a little better, I will say. It does look better. Yes, I'm drinking
some of those-
Doritos.
Yeah. Oh.
Mexican Mandarin.
Okay.
Because Mexicans know how to make Mandarin orange pop, but
Nice.
it's good.
Nice.
I dig it.
Right on.
Nice.
Gary says, sounded like morning rush hour in my kitchen. I bet. BC Rich says they had cornhole on one of the big screens at the wing place he was at
Oh
today.
man, I want.
There's
some
Craig T.
wings.
Tomlinson.
We did make hamburgers and hot dogs. I had the mother-in-law over because
Nice.
we're not going to do anything tomorrow. So I don't know if they'll work, and neither does tea cake. So
That's right.
Mayhem. I'm going to be watching racing tomorrow. That's what I do on Mondays.
okay,
Recover from the Sunday night hang, prep for the Canucks show, and watch races.
all right. Well, there you go. At least you have your schedule.
I do. Yeah, action packed. Yeah. And if it's sunny, I might mow the lawn.
Oh,
But I got to fix the lawnmower first. That's a problem.
did a little weed whacking today, so
Nice.
around the fence. Yep.
Always
It's
fun.
rained for a week here. It's rained this whole week.
Yeah, it rained like crazy yesterday and Friday, but
Yeah, that's right.
today is nice. Tomorrow's supposed to be nice. And then it's supposed to
Getting
be
warm. Love it.
it's supposed to be in the 90s the next couple of days, and then back to the 70s, 80s. I don't know. I'm not a heat guy. I don't like
Hey,
heat.
Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
I read a comment after I got up this morning, Ben,
Yeah.
about who won trivia at the party. Not on the show, but
Who did win? Because I left before the end.
Keith won. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was rolling when I left. He'd already gotten a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we had paused around the time you left because Sandra had popped off, and I think we were
Okay.
waiting for her to come back to continue. And then it was an hour later. We're like, I don't think she's coming back.
Yeah.
But since none of us were feeling any pain, we didn't. It took us an hour to
Yeah.
flew in.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I
Mayhem was saying your volume's a little low, Tony. You
How about
move your
now?
mic into there. There we go.
All right.
That works.
Right on.
Put it closer to your
You were
face.
getting it to number 5 when I jumped off, Keith. So I'd like to think you got to at least 5.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
I was a little worried about the morning, but it was cool.
Hey, Laz.
What's up, Laz?
Sorry to hear about Maximus.
Yeah. R.I.P. Maximus.
Yeah. Hey, Laz.
LRM asked, what show was last night? That was Show Me Your Pick on the Fruitcake Tony channel, which maybe one of the mods can put a link to Tony's channel. It's in the description of the video, I think, if I was competent. I'm pretty sure I put it in there. I don't know. All right, you go watch your race, Doug. Keith, we may not have NASCAR this week. Depends on if he can get his butt home in time. Apparently, Doug leaves, and then I think I told you guys, he goes to Raleigh, and then he's flying to Raleigh to Charlotte.
Right. Yeah.
Home. And I think he's supposed to land about an hour and a half before our show, and depending on
Right.
customs, because if you say, hey, I was at a NASCAR race, they might say stand over there for a while. I don't know. So
Wow.
we may have a show. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayhem. Link to Tony's channel in the chat there. Check it out. It's growing. Steady.
Yep.
It's not alarmingly fast, but steady. And that's all we care about.
It's
Much
getting
like
there,
this
man.
channel. We're growing a core. And it's a lot of fun. And once in a while, I darken their doorstep because I feel the need to spread some knowledge. 'Cause I'm like, I've heard of that guy. Can we talk about him?
We always enjoy it when Ben stops by.
Absolutely. And thanks for coming this Memorial Day weekend, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
that
you see-
was fun.
You said Memorial Day and you said barbecue. And I don't know if you saw the barbecue in the background there where Doug was, but the barbecue it's on a trailer. And
Yeah.
it is the size of the trailer. It's one of those. So I was like, I like the sound of that, Tony, and I don't get to go down south necessarily. I would be eating barbecue this weekend.
They probably had how many pigs on that thing? Whole pigs, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At least one.
Well, I know. I remember because it came up in my memories today. Aha, I remember. Proto, I think it was from the last time I was there.
Yeah, I laid
Surprisingly, my mom, who just turned 78, is hugely into NASCAR now. She knows more than I do about it. I don't know a lot about it, but she knows. She calls me and tells me stuff. This guy did this and he's doing that because his tires are there. Like, okay. So I get my NASCAR information from my mom, from Mama Butt Cheeks. Her grandma, but I won't call her Grandma Butt Cheeks. But...
Maybe it didn't come up in my memories. Maybe it came up in Marshall's memories, and he just happened to share it, and I saw it. That's possible. Talk amongst yourselves, honest. See, this is the nice thing about having multiple guys. Oh, there it is. So this is just an open face, and I believe. Oh yeah, we were doing ribs.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah. Those are. I love me some barbecue. Slow cooked for days. You know.
And one of my favorite photos I ever took, because I would get, come on, turn the right way. Come on. There we go. Behave. Rid of captions. There we are. I was able to get in that close.
Wow.
Nice.
Do a pit stop.
Cool.
So Ben, who is your big guy now? Being here in North Carolina as a young guy,
Pick a decade.
I was a Earnhardt guy, and I remember a lot of Earnhardt guys were. I'm not going to say I was, but a lot of Earnhardt guys were very anti.
Oh yeah, I did realize. Yeah, right. Thanks, Doug. He just sent in a photo. Here's the barbecue with the lid closed, because since he's listening and all. With a truck park right next to it for comparison of size, right?
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's a big one. You can cook all the burgers on it. What's up, Jamal? Yeah, depending on the decade, Tony. When I was a kid, I was kind of partial to Bobby Allison. And then when Davey came along, I was a Davey fan. As well as Dale Earnhardt, because I kind of like that aggressiveness. I know, Doug, when I was a kid, I don't like dirty racing at all now. But then I heard about Darrell Waltrip, and I thought, well, he did it before Earnhardt did it. So I became a huge DW fan for the whole rest of his career, which really should have ended 5 years earlier than did. Kenny Schrader. I like the guys that didn't necessarily win a lot of races, but they just ran hard, and I like the independent teams and stuff like that. So I'd be like, hey, that guy finished 32nd. That's not bad, because that car shouldn't have even made the field. And guys like that.
And here too, as a kid, the most loved around here was Richard Petty.
Yep.
You know.
He is the king. Oh, I was like, yeah, Richard Petty was cool. You know, he was the guy with the hat like my dad and the sunglasses.
Yeah, cool. You never seen him without it, you know?
Yeah.
But there's tons of history, man, you know? So.
Yeah, I remember seeing, actually, it wasn't that even that long ago, a recent interview with Kyle Petty, Richard's son, and it's like, so what's the, the iconic look your dad goes, my dad's thought he's a cowboy since he was 6 years old. Wears cowboy boots and cowboy hat. Doesn't own any cows. Doesn't ride a horse.
but the and the jumps in technology and all that stuff. Because you look back at those older cars, it's like they just drove from the street right onto the track. You know, basically. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, you did that, and then by the '60s, you had a chassis under it, but it was based off a '60s car.
Right.
And you would just hang the body on a roll cage that's put on a full chassis. And that led up until just a few years ago was still the same thing. You had, you called it Banjo Matthews. He built you a chassis. You would hang a body on it. Robert G would hang a body for you. And then you would take it, and then your race team would buy that and then maintain it, which is pound out the dents between races. And crush
but I mean, the technology and the way they have those things dialed in like a freaking watch,
It's insane. Well, the insanity of it is these days is during COVID when there was no qualifying or anything. So it's all, here, Tony, fire up the computer, put the simulator on, and it'll tell us what shocks and springs and tire pressure and everything. And then they do it. And the first lap you're turning in the car is they drop the green for the race to start. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I guess we're driving to this setup. Let's hope the simulator was right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Just
Yes.
look and see some race talk in there. Which, folks, if we're offending you, let me know. Hey, Jason Lindholm.
I haven't been looking at the chat.
Doug down there alone, Ben?
What's that?
Doug down there alone?
Yeah, he traveled alone, but then, once you're there, it's family.
Hang out with the same people year after year? Or?
Well, what happened was, Brendan, the first year we went down and stayed in the infield was 2011. We had a tent and a Ford Explorer, or a Ford Escape. That's right, not an Explorer. Escape's smaller. And my brilliant cousin Doug, the camper, who owned the tent, forgot to bring a hammer. Oh. So we happened to see across the way this guy setting up a trailer. And walked over and I thought, we're in the South. I heard about this Southern hospitality thing. So I thought, so we just walked up and we said, excuse me, could a fella borrow another fella's hammer if that fella happens to have a hammer? And he said, sure. And that started a friendship that continues to this day. And that was Marshall, who basically is heading up things kind of now. Mike's sons have taken over hosting the Wounded Warriors. And they were hosting maybe a dozen. So it was kind of their first year officially hosting Wounded Warriors. And they just happened to be across the little alleyway, driveway from us. And then, ironically enough, people that were next to us met up with them. They were really cool. TJ and the boys, shout out, who have camped around the infield over the years. And then once they re-amalgamated and opened the road course again, TJ, I think, now camps right in with our other friends. So I was like, that's awesome, because we kind of brought them together as we're just the Canadians. That was the commonality. They knew these Canadians.
But, and coincidentally, Marshall is the guy who has the biggest grill in the infield.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah, originally that was T-Bone, a.k.a. Trent. He had it, and he used to do barbecue catering. And then when he had retired and moved up to Ohio, he left the trailer behind and with the barbecue. And that was just stored at Mike's. Because Mike lives maybe a mile from the track, Brendan, I'm going to say. It's like you pull out of the Speedway facility, you turn onto the road, there's like the third road on the left, you pull down there, it's a little subdivision, and that's Mike's house. And you would hear, that kind of, just in the background, sort of like if a prop plane's flying overhead, that kind of volume. You go, is that the Speedway? He's like, yep. It's like, that's cool. He's like, yep.
That's cool.
What's up, Milt? Robert Ranford?
Nice. So my brother-in-law just completed something called the Adirondack 46. So he climbed all 46 high peaks in the Adirondacks. It took him 25 years to do it. Did it very slowly, but that's a cool accomplishment. He's now known as a 46er. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to my brother-in-law Ken Briggs. Nice.
Ken Briggs, you have the calf muscles of an icon.
That's crazy. I've done one. I think it counts as one. I'm not a big.
I've only seen on film Marty Robbins racing back in the day. There is a famous story about Marty. He would run weekly at Nashville Fairgrounds as well as select NASCAR races, and he was a member of the Grand Ole Opry, and he was slated to play the Opry. And if you know the way they ran SHIP, because being a radio show, like, you can't be late. So he's leading the race at the fairgrounds, Tony. And with only a few laps to go, he just pulls her into the pits. And everyone's like, what are you doing? He's like, I got to go on stage in 10 minutes. And he just got right out of the race car, hopped in and he just left the facilities, went straight over to the Ryman and did a set.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Stevie G. Yeah, in the 777.
He knows where his priorities are.
Well, because if you miss a date at the Opry, you ain't coming back. So, yeah, exactly. Racing's fun and all, but this pays the bills. This pays for that, type thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, Paramount.
And there's always been a kind of a history of that, of celebrities that get into racing, and I was like, why not? If you're gonna throw your money into a nightclub or something, get a race team. You're not gonna have any money when you're left, but you'll have a lot more fun, I think, with racing.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay, I just got a word from Charles. He's still not home from work.
That's right, he did have to work today. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. What's up, Sean Hockey?
He'll be right along, I'm sure.
Original Paramutant. Yeah, so he's on his way home. It's always fun hanging with Charles, who is one of the nicest guys in the YouTube sphere.
He really is.
Absolutely.
He really
Yeah.
is. Best people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Love this
Charles.
community. Yep. Yes,
Yeah.
this guy named his dog what? So he loves it when people ask the dog's name. What's your dog's name? What? What's your dog's name? What? It sounds like a Stephen Wright thing. I named my dog Stay. Come here, Stay. Come here, Stay. He's so confused, you know? That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice. Guitar Man 45 used to go to Detroit Grand Prix. Very cool. That would be at Belle Isle, where they convert the park. Love that track.
What I would like to see one day is go to is it Isle of Wight? The motorcycles? What is it? The
Isle of Man.
Isle of Man, sorry. The Isle of that looks insane.
That's insane. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, they're going 200 miles an hour, and it's not straight.
No, it's country roads, then through town, and it's like the little bridge countryside where we're just going to build brick walls right along the road with no shoulder.
And I mean, some of the recoveries, those guys are going over in the rain. They're like on their back tire, swishing around, and then they just
single lane, high crown roads.
Yeah.
No thanks. Nope. The closest I came to that, I did one of those simulators, which is really just a van on hydraulics, I swear.
Right.
And I got into it was down in Daytona, and my uncle's like, "Yeah, you should check it out." He says, "I tried it the other day." I was like, "Oh yeah," because the guy's just like got all the hydraulics going, just throwing people, and it was a lap around the Isle of Man circuit. I think Eddie Lawson was doing it or something with a bike-mounted cam. It's just like, holy crap, on the brakes, and then accelerate. Oh, yeah, no thanks.
Have you got a lot of racetracks, little racetracks? Because here around in this state, there's country race tracks and there's the Orange County Speedway's a couple miles this way, the drag strip's a couple miles that way.
We have an Orange County Speedway.
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
Orange County Speedway. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm
quite the expert, or I used to be quite the expert on upstate New York racing. My God, there's a heritage of dirt modified racing through New York State.
There's a lot of dirt tracks of those cars with the weird freaking things on top.
Yeah, they're dirt modifieds. The dirt series started out of New York into Pennsylvania a bit, and they would come into Ontario as well. They have
ice racing. Ice racing with the spikes. Those are cool.
Yeah. We do have one dirt track in the area, which is half an hour away, I guess, now. And then we also have a club circuit size road course, which was used as a school for years. They race motorcycles there. Like my uncle would race motorcycles there. They still do, the Canadian series.
That's cool.
They go as far as, I think they do some GT racing there, but none of the real top series because it's too small. It's sort of like Mid-Ohio. It's a little too condensed because that's a club circuit. But like every major Canadian racer you would have heard of in the 80s through the 90s all came through the racing school there because it's the racing school in Canada. And Players Cigarettes was heavily involved in the ladder system, which God love them. They were putting money in the motorsports. And they were the kind of you race the players' colors basically from the time you got out of a go-kart all the way up through 5 Series to IndyCar. And that where we got Greg Moore and Jacques Villeneuve and Tagliani and Alex Carpentier and Paul Tracy. They all came up through that. Hey, Johnny Love.
Nice.
RJ.
Yeah, I like watching the Camping World, the trucks, but basically it's just the same chassis with a truck body. But still, I don't know. It's cool. I like
that's what I'm talking about at Metalworks Shannonville. It's still a club day, and then they converted the back strip to a drag strip. when they expanded the track in the early 90s, late 80s, I guess. And they do drag racing there every Friday night as well as selective it. But it's not a full, you can't run the big guys again because you'd have to run an 8th mile to run the top fuel stuff.
Neat.
It's cool though. I love it. One thing about drag racing is you can go into the pits. You know, that's the thing about drag racing. Pits are open to everybody. So you can just, oh, wow. You know, and like these guys are like, holy crap on a crap. The amount I see like a big 426 Hemi engine out of like a, you know, Superbird. Oh, I put it in a Gremlin. Yeah, it does 8 second quarter mile. No shit. Oh, yeah.
That's great.
The little Charger, 80s Charger hatchbacks, guys putting big blocks in those things, tubbing them, you know, the wheel. You look under the rear of the car, and all you see is a little differential and then tire.
Right. Yep.
Sharon Speedway. Sean Hockeman. Sharon Speedway is the dirt track in my hood. Great track, owned by the Blaney family in Ohio, who, what the hell is his name there? Dave's son. Races in the Cup Series right now.
Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, his grandfather started racing there, and then his father and uncle took it over. And yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Your Orange County Speedway, Brendan, is that like a track that they use, and that do they have like shows in the infield? Is that how they do it?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, they don't use it that much for racing anymore. I haven't.
Is that the one just outside of Syracuse?
No, this is down south of Newburgh.
Okay.
Jay
run a week.
Actually, Jay knows it. They might. It's a dirt track, so they have dirt
Keith
stuff.
in the chat knows it.
Yeah, Keith knows it. Actually, I saw Tom Petty there. That was the first concert I went with my wife when we were dating.
Nice.
And I got locked out of my car. I had a 81 Datsun 210, and we got out of there like 12:30, and I locked my keys in the car. Both of our sets of parents were like, "You're on your own," and they hung up on us. So like, okay, so I had to go find a hanger and jimmy the lock in.
Because you could, because it wasn't electronic.
Because I could back then, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so I don't. I mean, I know sometimes they do like monster truck stuff too. So it's a huge infield.
Yeah. It's part of the fairgrounds.
Right. Orange County Fairgrounds. Yep. So, but I haven't been there since.
I've been by there for some reason. God knows why I was there in that neighborhood, but I was like, "Oh, track!" You know,
I saw a bunch of shows there. So Tom Petty, I saw In Excess, Ziggy Marley, bunch
because
of
they have the big grandstands because it's part of the fairgrounds.
Yes, sir.
Actually, that might be a full mile.
Keith Campbell saw Van Halen there in '93. Good for awesome. Wow.
Stevie G mentions I-55 speedways near him. That would be, I believe, Peevely, Missouri, and that track's owned by Ken Schrader.
Nice.
I am such a nerd. See, it's not just pedals and guitars, folks. Oh, there's a whole other nerdery going on right there.
You have to.
Yep. What's up, Stephen Holt?
Got to be well-rounded, man.
Well, yeah.
That's right.
I like all the flavors of life. What's up, Soa?
There he
Hanging
is.
with Christopher on the after party last night.
Sawa. What's up, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
My first car was, he was saying his first car was a 77 Olds Omega. I had a 74 Chevy Nova with a 350 in it. It was a 4-door, so it wasn't really like a racy looking one.
I love, the funniest thing about those was the optional hatchback, because it's still like a full-size car, and you're like, and they're like, oh, screw it, we'll just cut it all out and make it a hatchback.
Yeah,
and the hatchback had to weigh 200 pounds.
I had the trunk, because I had 4 doors, so... Look, Sawa. I like me a good Triumph set, but you know. It's gonna be an ongoing thing now. He's gonna bust my chops about the second best Canadian band, in my opinion. It's just in my opinion.
Canadian, I can tell you, I don't think there was a lot of tours where Triumph was the headliner with Rush opening.
No.
But they're all friends, anyways.
Oh yeah, they're all great.
Proof that you can play all the notes and you only need 3 guys in the band.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It's Rush and then everyone else.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I'm surprised those guys never did their own studio.
Yeah, no, they did. I mean, they had one that they used for like 20 years, but
Yeah, well, they
it
used
wasn't
trying studio for half the time, I think.
Yeah, but I love you too, Sawa, you butthole. But yeah, I read something today that kind of bothered me. It was a Lifeson interview saying he's done with solos. He's not even going to do solos anymore. He said he's done with touring.
Yeah.
The band that he's in now, I forget the name of it. Envy, something of Envy, maybe.
Right.
Or Envy of None. He said he might do a couple of shows here and there, but he's not even going to go out on tour with them. So he'd get a bunch of guitarists to go out with them.
His feet and ankles are pretty messed up.
Yeah, he said he's done. You can't blame the guy, you know?
And he's kind of like had weight issues over the years, you know, and every once in a while it's like, hey, stop getting into Getty's wine. You can tell because he gets lazy and all of a sudden he packs on 10, 20 pounds and you see it. And then he'll slim down again. But then these guys, they're not young. I get it. Like,
nah.
Like, clearly, like, sure, I think half the reason these bands are getting paid so much is because that's what it takes to get them motivated. You know, is like literally like, why? Like, do I want to play, the LA Forum again? I've been there, done that,
Right.
Playing the exact same set list you want me to play.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Well,
but on the other hand, there's the other people that say, screw it, I want to die on the road. Essentially.
But that is still, though, a huge, even if it's just one night, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have, like, you tell they're totally doing it for the fun of it. Like Sammy Hagar. The guy was rich before he even joined Van Halen.
Sure.
He does not need to be doing any of that.
No, you do it for fun,
Yep.
So, I don't
that
know.
guy has, and I think he's one of those guys, if he slows down, it would catch up with him in a heartbeat. He needs to stay active, just keep moving.
Yeah.
It's like Halford, Rob Halford still has it, and he's cranking, going,
A lot of these guys, when they're not on the road, they get older and they're going to gain a couple.
Mm-hmm. The touring keeps them young, right? That lifestyle as much as anything else. Like, the high of playing on stage.
Well, the constant on the go,
I think that's what, like Keith Richards said that, like for him, it's just that playing, if nothing else. It's just, that high from just, we just nailed that song tonight, one of those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. But there's, the getting little sleep and not getting enough to eat maybe. And
well, you're never eating right. You're never sleeping right. Even if you said, hey, I want the best food in the world backstage every show, it doesn't matter because, you still, no matter what they try to isolate, you're still feeling like you get pulled in 5 directions, I'm sure.
Always in a hurry, right.
Yeah. And you got to focus on the music as well as, and a lot of, I don't know, I don't like eating before I go on stage. Because I'm usually nervous enough, unless it's a place I've played several times. If it's a place I'm playing for the first time, forget about it. I'm a wreck. Like, just leave me out in the parking lot and let me wander around the parking lot until it's showtime because I'm just a basket case. So, which is weird, even though you're playing the same set you played at a different place the last night, you're playing the same set at another place the next night. Doesn't matter. We all have our idiosyncrasies, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like you hear how many famous music, they've been at it for 20 years and they still throw up before they go on stage every night.
Oh, yeah.
They just can't help it.
Once you walk out there, though, it's gone. And it's over like that.
For me, it usually takes a half a verse into a song, the first song, like 45 seconds or so. Because I'm just I feel like maybe it might be a verse and a chorus, but once we get through that, and then you're bam into that second verse, you do that turnaround. That's when it totally is melted away at that point. especially if you nail that first post-chorus turnaround. Woo! Then it's just like you're all Superman at that point. You look around, your bandmates are all grinning because you do have that sum of all the parts. It is bigger, you know. Because I've heard 4 of us on stage playing, and then I've heard where it's just like, God damn, like somebody should be recording this because this is on. You know, like I'm thinking, Richie's tone's on point. You know, the bass player's completely in the pocket, drummer's keeping perfect time. I'm sounding great. You know, boy, the importance of good tone. Yeah, they say 80% of the crowd doesn't notice how great your tone is, but if you think you have great tone, you're going to play better.
Right.
It's like a guitar slightly out of tune. It gets you very frustrated, and you don't play well as a result. You know, it's like same idea. If you get that guitar tuned absolutely perfect, which may not be perfect because you might be one of these people that have to compensate because you bend it out of tune. But you get it just right, you know, it's like you hit that chord and it's just so tight, you're like, yes!
Yep, then you're in. Then you're in the zone.
Yes, I am, Christopher. I'm taping the race.
Yeah, so don't tell them what's going on.
Please don't.
No. I know they're going around really fast. Hope that doesn't spoil it for you.
No. Ragged Edge.
Meow.
You know what, though? Cool.
Earnhardt.
Pleasant surprise, and I think only life or longtime race fans would appreciate it was, as every track has its own announcer. So we got the racing radios with the little screens on them, so I could listen to Scanner, or whoever I want to listen to. Put it on. And the nice thing is the way those scanners work is when your team isn't broadcasting, it'll flip over to the track announcer. The track announcer at Charlotte Motor Speedway is Ken Squire, the godfather of race announcers, you know, for NASCAR. And I'm just like, that's Ken fucking Squire. So you get all the, you know, it's just, and the guy's been broadcasting races for 40, 50 years. So it's just like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Let me ask you something, Ben, and I don't know a lot about this, and maybe you can elaborate. And back in the 90s, okay, when technology first started to improve a little bit, late 80s, there were cats at races who could all of a sudden put on a headset and tap into a crew chief and a driver's band, right? Are they still? You can do that still now. You listen in.
Yeah, what it is teams have a public channel, and then quite often they'll have a secondary encrypted channel where they can actually talk, because quite often the spotter and the crew chief will now, you know, help set up the car because the spotter has a great view of what's happening. So they'll talk strategy or whatever on the encrypted channel, and then the public channel you're just hearing more or less spotter to driver stuff, and once in a while the crew chief, which is how I became a huge Clint Boyer fan, because one year at Charlotte they had some gimmicky camera like at the Olympics on a long cable that it's supposed to be like a drone shot, but drones weren't a thing yet. So the cable started in the infield of 3 and 4, I believe, ran across the front stretch and then out over this outside the speedway to the parking lot. That was fine till a quarter way through the race, and the cable broke.
Ooh, yeah.
Fortunately, it didn't snap. It eased its way down. But then all of a sudden, I realized that's a cable that's, say, I don't know, a couple inches thick, we'll say, steel cable, right? Laying across a track with cars going over it with real sticky rubber tires.
Yeah, that's
and
not
I'm thinking,
good.
if this gets caught under a car and starts dragging that cable, and I'm looking and I'm like, I'm just going to ease down in my seat a bit, just, you know.
Yeah.
And then they stop, but then I listen to Clint Boyer and him and his team just shooting the shit, trying to kill time, and they're like, you know, like, they're like, come on, we gotta get this race started. The stripper's gonna be closed by the time it's over. I'm like, what? You know, and then his car wasn't handling well, and he's just like, where'd you get these tires? A garage sale? Like, seriously. And I'm just like, this is awesome. And I became a fan. And over the course of the red flag, I'm telling Doug, and told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, tune into this channel. I'm like, this guy's hilarious. And we're all just laughing our ass off. And everyone's looking at us like, what are you laughing about? It's like listening to a stand-up comedy special. And now we get them every week in the booth.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah.
I used to hear that if you tuned in to Gordon's, that all you heard all day was him crying.
It's interesting, the veterans that, like, especially ones that know how to work on the cars, because they're like, yeah, you're going to need to, like, during practice, they're like, okay, I'm going to bring it in. You're going to swap out the 200-pound spring for the 180. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Meanwhile, Doug, who's not technical, is like, what are they talking about?
the stretchy
travel
thing.
rate, and stuff.
This the stretchy thing, Doug.
So I'll get to your comment in a sec here, Mark. I remember our first year, because, like, Doug's a big race fan, but he's not technical. It's sort of like a guitar player. Like, you can be a great guitar player, and we've seen the rig rundown. It's like, how is your signal work? They're like, I don't know. You should talk to my tech. He sets it up. I just play. And so over the course of the first race, we watch it, and it was crazy because Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran out of gas on the last lap to win the race. So, the vibe was really, okay. So I just want to get out of the stands as quick as possible because I didn't know if there's going to be a riot or what. So as we're going back by the garage area, out comes Denny Hamlin's crew chief, Mike Ford. And Doug's like, holy crap, this is the first time we had interacted with a team member of any kind. He's like, all I hear is, hey, Ben, get over here. He goes, yeah, that's my cousin Ben. He's a crew chief too. I'm like, big difference. I worked on mini stock at Brick Speedway, not a cup car. But then we started talking carburetors, and the reason he ran out of gas near the end of the race is because they were able to swap a carburetor under caution without losing a lap. First of all, holy crap. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
And when they put the replacement on, it had full jets for full power, and because night race, it just used up too much fuel. So he's talking about all this. Doug's looking at me like we might as well be talking Greek, because we're talking fuel ratios and float setting. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, are you guys allowed to modify the Venturis at all? And Doug's like, what? Huh? And then after a while, I realized Mike Ford's holding a backpack, and he's got another case, and he just ran out of gas with 2 laps to go. He does not want to be talking to some random fan after the race. He wants to go home. So I'm like, have a good night. Got a photo, of course, and then have a good night. And Doug's like, what were you all talking about? I'm like, the reason why their car ran out of gas? I got that, but how? Well, I could try explaining it to you, but it'll take the whole drive back to Canada. So, Mark Taft had a comment. He says, Ben, yes, do you remember all those times after a big show when all the gear has been put away and I would have fresh baked goods ready to chow down? Yes. He would bring cookies to shows. The perfectly not too soft, not too crunchy, that when you're driving an hour and a half home after a gig, you kind of eat half dozen of those.
Sure. Yeah, man.
What's up, Andrew?
Yep. Yeah, no, we never left, Andrew. Just switched hosts. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just shuffled.
We've been here all night and day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we never stopped hanging out. Honest. Did anyone catch Pete Thorne's show today?
I did not.
You should. He interviewed Ian Thornley today, and it was awesome.
Well, I'll have to watch the replay.
Yes. And for those who don't know Ian Thornley, he's from Big Wreck, who have broken pretty big in the U.S. in the last number of years, whereas in Canada, we've known about them for 25, 30 years. So that's how we roll.
Yeah.
He's an amazing player and a Sir artist, so they were kind of sirring out on each other. They're both showing off new signature guitars they're not supposed to show off. And it was literally, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Okay. I was like, yes, this is the nerdery we want. And he's like, how would you do this? How would you do this?
Absolutely.
I definitely recommend folks check that out if you haven't already. Tell them Ben sent you.
Okay.
This one. And then Pete will text me. Why are you telling everyone? I don't know, promotion? That's not what we do. We're in the music business. It's not the music funness.
It's both.
It's both, actually, yes. Hey, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
It's one of the few industries where you can do both. And it's one of the few remaining industries where you can still have a several martini lunch and it be socially acceptable.
Yeah. Nice. Yep. Oh, man.
We, how long you been having these hangs on each week on Sunday, Ben?
I want to say right around 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was on last
because
year,
I didn't, because I know I started doing the Canuck show initially, and then sometimes I go live on a Sunday, and then like during the day or in the evening, depending on my band schedule, or if I had a gig the night before. And then I got into doing interview hangs and Sundays, sometimes Mondays, because the Canuck show was still on Thursdays at that point. And then the Canuck show got moved for band rehearsal. Then the band broke up right after, which I'm like, fuck me. I just moved my show to Mondays to come. Now I do shows 2 nights in a row, which I kind of liked. Sundays and Thursdays had a nice break in between. And
you get it all done. You have the rest of the week to prep. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then you had a NASCAR show on Tuesdays.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then for a while there, when I first started doing shows with Dave, they were on Wednesdays. So it's just like, 4 days in a row.
Right.
Plus shoot videos in between.
Yep.
It is a lot, though.
It is a lot.
It is. It can be a bit much. It's a lot of talking. A lot of talking.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Talking is easier than working, really. If working is talking, I'm okay with that. Because if one thing I've always learned through school was I talked a lot. Every fucking report card. Ben talks a lot. About anything.
Said on all
Because I am like my father. You ask me a question, I will have an opinion. It may not be the correct thing, but
it might not be your opinion, but it'll be a opinion. And that's fine. That's why it's an opinion.
Yep.
Everybody can have one.
It is.
Yeah, I think it came up in my memories again right around this time was the first. I did a group hang with Michael Smith, and that one's the night it was decided I was going to go to NAMM for the first time. That we're going to set up a GoFundMe and to get me to NAMM, and we got me to NAMM.
Nice.
Which was really cool. I never thought I would ever go to a NAMM show, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there's that too, Christopher. Oh yeah, you watched the shows a few years ago. It was much cleaner. I barely swore, barely drank.
Yeah.
Those
now you're corrupt. Now you're corrupted.
Well, then I realized, I'm like, do I really want to try to play the corporate game even on YouTube, or fuck it?
That's no
Just
fun.
be me. I'd rather be a niche and have a core group of friends that we hang out with every week.
I remember you and Albus driving. Now, how long of a drive was that?
I think that was like 7 or 8 hours. Because it was just south of Chicago, basically, to Nashville.
I remember that, and then that was Summer NAMM.
Yeah, that was summer 2019. Because after the first NAMM show, Ben got his taxes done for the first time in years and bought a computer to run the show and went to Summer NAMM. Because what does a musician do? All right, we'll take care of the channel.
Yeah.
We'll get a new computer. And then went to Summer NAMM, which was good because we made some connections down there.
I heard it was a lot.
Else.
Yeah, it's like a lot less subdued. Summer NAMM.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't believe because the difference is, like for Winter NAMM, okay, like what booth are you going to be at? And you try to really, whereas everyone, I'm trying to, like RJ1 Killio, I was going to meet him for the first time in person. I was like, hey man, what's your number? I'll text you when I'm heading. He's like, don't worry, we'll see each other. I'm like, what? How? And then you realize it's more or less like a couple hockey rinks, kind of thing. Like it's not that big a place. It's not hard to find somebody. At most, it's going to take you 20 minutes to find somebody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
But they're only gonna are they only gonna have one now, moving forward, or is that because I heard that was the
All right. So the rumor and
They're
or
hinting.
innuendo that I heard. This relates to our off-air talk last night about gossipers of guitar players, Tony. Same. Yeah, the rumors are that they're going to ease back. That's why this year it's in June. Then next year, maybe either April or full on back to January.
Gotcha.
And once they get that back to that, then they may bring back Nashville.
Okay, I hope so. Because I'd love to go to Nashville. I've been to Anaheim. Not NAMM, but I've been to Anaheim. And that's a busy town. I can even imagine during NAMM, probably nuts. You know?
It is.
Plus now you have to worry about other things than Namthrax. You know? You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
did remember your trip though, when you were at JJ's House of Jams. You stayed there.
Literally.
And,
yeah. He's like, where do you want to sleep? I'm like, right there in the garage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, the funny part is, it always looked the same on camera, but he had moved to a new house, and in the new place, he's like, you don't have to sleep in the garage. Like, he had a big. It was a fucking mansion. Like, I was like, what is the nut on this, if you don't mind me asking? He's like, it ain't, but that's the way real estate, and it's Orange County, and it's amazing how many people rent in Orange County. Like, whole subdivisions, and half of it's rentals. It's not like anywhere else in the world where you think rental property, you wouldn't know it's a rental property type thing. And I'm looking at this place, and like, it's one of those, first of all, the California thing with the rounded tops on the doors, the Spanish style, like, as a Canadian, I'm like, you just don't see that. I was like, that's awesome. Tile roofs and shit. And he opens up the door, and I think it was a sunken living room with a huge stairway up to the. I was like, holy crap on a cracker, and the kitchen. Well, you got to go around through this room into this room to get to the kitchen, which is around behind all this shit. Then you go outside, and it's all landscaped and foliage and barbecue built into stone wall, and I'm like. And then I look at the neighbors next door, and they're the ones with the half-court basketball court and the pool and the barbecue. I'm like, somebody famous has to live there, or somebody who represents somebody famous lives there. Like, it's that kind of a neighborhood. I'm just like, holy, but then you see, and then half the vehicles, it's still like a chunked-out S10 in the driveway, because, or something, like, okay.
Can't afford a car with a house like that.
Yeah, I was just like, holy crap, like, this is really sweet. And, I'm not saying JJ's rich or anything, but it was a nice ride. He's out of there now, and he's like, yeah, you can stay in this room with, like the second living room with Aaron. I was like, well, I think he snores for one. And I just want to hang out in the garage, because if I get insomnia, there's guitars to play. As opposed to, I've got insomnia, and he's asleep right there, so I can't really.
You could smother him with a pillow.
Wander around. Oh, yeah, I could do
Beat
that.
him up with
well,
a
he was sick anyways. He showed up sick. Patient zero. Oh, no. He was, because he showed, we all met up at the airport, because we timed it all perfect.
I'm going to grab
literally,
some tea real
Aaron's
quick.
flight came in 20 minutes after my flight arrived. No problem, fruitcake. So JJ, and I think it was like 20 minutes drive out to Santa Ana Airport there, and so I get in, hey, how you doing? And then we wait for Aaron. Aaron's already like, I'm not feeling so well. I'm like, great. Especially I'm thinking because he's from a different area of the continent. So the virus that might be going around here for the sniffles might not be the same one going through the Chicago area. So I'm like, I'm probably going to get sick. So I started doing an equal vitamin C alcohol regimen for disinfectant. And I survived. JJ was sick for a day or so.
A lot of screwdrivers, because you got the orange juice right in there.
That's what I did right at the Gibson party Wednesday night. He says, what would you like, a screwdriver? I'm like, thank you. And it was very clear. I was like, wow, between the ice and the vodka, you didn't leave a lot of room for it's more of just an essence of orange. But
he just whispered it into the glass, orange juice. And then, that's what that is.
Yeah. Oh, and they actually had like decent booze and stuff. It's not like, especially being from another country, if I recognize the name of the booze, it's decent booze. It's not like, they weren't using Tito's vodka,
Tito's isn't that bad, I guess. I don't know.
That's
I'm not a a huge, a hard liquor.
I just remember being at the racetrack one year, and it was something like Tito's vodka, but it was like the equivalent of tequila. and it was made in Kentucky. There was nothing better than Kentucky tequila. I'm like, excuse me? I'm pretty sure the Mexicans might have something to say about that. I'm just saying.
There are those liquor snobs and out there.
There may be, it may be some artisan tequila that happens to be made in Kentucky, and it might be top notch. However, I'm pretty sure there's some guy in Mexico doing the equivalent of corn whiskey still, the North Carolina equivalent in Mexico, making some kick-ass tequila, some family recipe that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, my most of my alcohol experience was in college, and basically, you're not drinking to taste anything.
Mine was during my gigging career, which is more recent years, some whole things.
Yeah.
Do you call it a midlife crisis? I don't know. I joined the band a few months, 6 months before my 40th birthday. I don't know.
That's all right.
Coincidence, I swear.
Yeah, man.
And then, of course, you just drank for the nerves, and I wasn't driving to and from the gigs. That's a plus.
Right.
You mentioned moonshine stills. Around here, I live north of Raleigh, Durham, in a littler county, but I hadn't looked in recent years, but you used to see, because I knew where a couple of them were. One of them, you could see moonshine stills on Google Earth.
Nice.
Up here, yeah.
Yeah, I had some moonshine once. I don't remember who made it. I think my socks and shoes just flew off. That was that good.
I damn near paid for my last trip down in moonshine because Mr. Mike says, "What?" He messaged me. He goes, "Oh, it says headed to the mountain. What do you need?"
Yeah.
And I think I said something like 3 gallons. And he's like, "What?"
You had a mason jar on your show a lot over the past, not recently.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because it's something that you just sip from, right? A jar can last me a damn year.
But what show did you finish it? Because you were like, I think you don't remember that one. There was there might have been a show. I think TK
might have been last year's birthday show.
Awesome. I think it was last year's birthday show. It was.
I still have
You started out with a full one, and it was
just,
maybe just about that much left.
Oh, that show.
Yeah, that show.
Okay. I
remember that show?
Yeah.
Ben doesn't remember that show, but we all told him about that show.
Yeah.
Ben did well on that show.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he talked
that was
about
a rough
how
next day.
rough it was, but no, you did fine.
Yeah. He's a pro,
Exactly. Yeah, and that was the thing. Well, because I realized at that time still the Moonshiners TV show was hot, 5-6 years ago, and the stuff I knew it was top notch. And it's one of those things, it would carry a premium even where you are, Brendan. Like, this is North Carolina. You're like, fuck, that's the real shit. You're like, yeah, this is the real shit. Now, in Canada, you're like, how the fuck did you get North Carolina moonshine? I'm like, you don't need to know that information.
No.
However, I could buy a jar down there, even with the NASCAR weekend premium of say $20 for a jar, and turn around and sell for $80 here. And that's kind of how
Tony just has to go down the street and go in the woods and get some,
Yeah. And so it was funny too. It was a whole bunch of mason jars, and I had like pieces of I had a mason jar in my sleeping bag, I had another one in my dirty laundry, I had another one another one in my pillowcase. And of course, Doug's just going, fuck me, this is my trailer, that it's all in. So he's in as much trouble. It doesn't matter if it's mine, And he's like,
just water, folks.
Usually I don't tell him, he thinks that, because he would always say to me, finish it before we head back. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. I got at least a full jar I'm taking home, right? So I remember the last year we're headed back and we're getting towards the border. Nice.
Don't water the plants by mistake.
Oh, I know the look of that. And
that's
usually
some serious gourmet shit.
Don't talk about it. Don't think about it, because the Border Patrol can read it on your face if you're hiding something. And it's about 20 minutes before we hit the border. For some reason, he's like, "So where's the shine?" And all he said was, "Everywhere."
Everywhere.
He's like, "How many jars?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure 9. I've got 9 jars stashed.
Wow.
He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I got white lightning, I got apple pie, I had this mint stuff, I had he's like, holy crap. I was like, yeah. And I'm just thinking, I was literally bootlegging because I'm like, I've got a big payday. I'm like Smokey and the Bandit. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there, and literally it's the next day after I got home, I'm delivering. Yeah, I got it.
Well, you got it.
Mark might have picked up a jar off me.
There you go.
They down here in my area, there's been 2 kinds. One is a regular, lesser expensive, but it's in the gallon. But the other one is the peach brandy.
Oh yeah,
Which is a little more money than that, but that's the only 2 I see down here regularly. But a lot of years too. So
yeah, I have to check in. I don't know if I have a Moonshine connection anymore now that Mike passed away, unfortunately. That's okay.
I'm sure Tony's got a guy, but
Yeah.
I like watching those shows on Discovery Channel, like Moonshine, or it's like their camera guy. How do they not know where they are?
Well, see, but the funny part, the Moonshiner show, and I'm not going to say which family it is to incriminate anybody I happen to know.
Right.
But one of them, it's one of those. They do the overhead shot. It's the Misty Mountains, and they fell in the corner. Here's the name of the town. I'm like, fuck me, I know somebody that lives there, and it's not a big town, right? Because it's only 1,000 people, 1,200.
Right.
And I was like, really? So the following May, I'm hanging out with a buddy. I'm like, do you happen to know? He goes, oh yeah. He's like, you've had it. I'm like, I thought so, because he always had really premium shine. He goes, yeah, that's the stuff. I'm like, I thought so. He says, we don't speak of this. I'm like, no, we don't.
No.
And then I found out because he was charging me Canadian prices for herb, which is half price of what, say, Tony would pay around there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, how? He goes, I may have moved a few $100 last week, and you get some of the profits. I'm like, oh, fuck, so you're the guy for that in that county. Great. Good to know. What's up, Paul?
On that show, there was one guy from South Carolina who was younger. He was tall and lanky, and he had a dog.
Yep.
A little
Josh.
dog. Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. I was watching some racing thing on YouTube, and he was there racing. I'm like, hey, I know him.
And
Still
now they have these. It seemed. What's the guy who wears the overalls and no shirt?
Tim.
They have.
He was like the fucking fire chief in that county. I'm like, what?
Right.
Went backward. And that's the area our buddy Marshall's from. Climax,
and
Virginia.
what's the guy who's always locked up and he gets out and he gets locked back up?
That would be Tickle.
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 Tickle. Right.
Marshall ran into Tickle at the gas station one day. His mother lived near Marshall's mother.
Hey.
Yeah. How about that? That's as bad as I knew people that lived in the same town as where Trailer Park Boys is filmed. And where that trailer park is. So it's like same deal. Like when you see Moonshiners, like
Sunnyvale. Oh, dude, I just recently watched that again. I love that show. My wife got into that show. We watched it as a family. The freak Trailer Park. That was some it got a little strange towards the end.
Yeah, I remember when that show first came. Like it must have been first season or two. It's the only time I remember it'd be like 2 a.m. I'm flipping around channel back when you would flip around channels. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell is this? And next thing I know,
you're hooked.
It's been 45 minutes, and I've watched an episode and a half because it was like Showcase would show them all through the night or something.
Right.
I was like, all right.
And I mean, and those guys, like Randy, is doing some cheeseburger picnic show now in the States. They're still doing stuff. Bubbles is around. I want to find a conky doll.
Post. Who was it? ZZ Top.
I follow all those guys on Instagram.
Yeah, it was like ZZ Top and somebody else posted it, and it was like a shot in Halifax. And thanks Bubbles for hooking us up with. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, and you know, of course, I love it even more that Rush was a fan of them, and Lifeson was on a couple episodes. Freaking fantastic. They kidnap him, and then he's playing, you know, Closer to the Heart with Bubbles. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, they were
Great
doing
show.
they did a live show
Yeah.
that they were touring around. It came through here a bunch of times. I think Mark went a few times.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot. They did the movie. They did an animated series. I think stuff's still going on, but
Oh yeah. There's.
you know,
I think they may even have new stuff out. I don't know what platform it's moved to.
they,
Hey,
I mean,
Chris.
they were gonna do one when they were all, now like this age or older.
Yeah.
They were gonna put old person makeup on.
These. Oh my God. These. Leahy, the guy who played Leahy.
Yeah, Mr. Leahy. Yeah,
He had a gig, Brendan.
he was
Local
probably,
bars would hire him, and you would come drink with Leahy.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, but he was
That's
probably the
what-
only one with actual acting training. He was
Yeah.
probably the only real,
A buddy of mine was flying back out west, and he's had a layover or delay in Pearson. He's sitting there. There's fucking Leahy. He's like,
he was great.
grab a drink,
It
and
just-
he's like, and he was one of these guys because there's not a lot of money in Canadian trailer park. You're not getting paid making that show. So he's like, literally, you're buying, I'll drink. He's like, all right. He's like,
Ricky will pay in hash.
Leahy.
Ricky will pay in hash. But
Hey,
when
Michael,
he when he was in that, when he passed out in that pool and he turned blue, oh my God, it got a little strange. But
Yeah.
then
But
Snoop
that
Dogg
trailer
was
park
on,
actually
Jimmy Kimmel was
exists. That
on.
was a real trailer park.
That does
they
does
happened to
exist.
shoot in. Yeah.
Nice.
Which tells you, you're not going to shitify a trailer park to shoot a TV series of that quality, which is clearly shot on beta cams.
I want to be a bottle kid. Throw the bottles at you.
Thank you, Boulder Jams. He says, I just checked my email and saw for every super chat received, Ben will continue to unbutton his shirt. I'm prepping for the left nipple and furling shortly. Hope everyone has a great week. I will take you up on that offer.
I guess that means you owe us a button.
Yeah.
Amanda just threw up in her mouth, so.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. Love it.
Hey,
Yeah, continuing 2 weeks in a row wearing Hawaiian shirts on there too.
$10
Well, you know
is
what today?
$10. $10 is $10, right? Right,
$10
Ben?
is $10. Exactly.
That's it.
No, it's all good.
One of
Welcome
Getty's
back,
most
James.
famous quotes.
You don't have to have a birthday. You can have a birth month.
Sure. Why not?
Beaster says the only thing Ben is missing is a gold chain with the zodiac symbol.
Or a giant Italian horn. You get one of those. You don't need to be Italian to wear one. So.
It's not cultural appropriation.
Scarface all the way, Ben.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say hello to my little friend.
I just remember the 1 year Karma went down to Charlotte with us, Doug's wife and his kids there, right? And it was one of those, it was overcast the first week and quite cold. Like, I was wearing my leather jacket and jeans every day. And I was like, fuck, I hope the weather breaks, because I only brought one pair of jeans, and I've worn them all week. And I'm like, switch to shorts. And then all of a sudden, the weather broke, and all of a sudden, Tony, it's mid-May, and it goes from 62 every day to all of a sudden, it's 82, and it's 8 in the morning, and 100% humidity as the dew burns off. And I was like, ooh. So when you say it's 8 a.m. and I'm wearing a pair of shorts and nothing else. And Doug's like, Jesus, there's the sweater vest. Jeez, put it away. I'm like, screw you. So he decides he's going to start walking around shirtless. He gets 2 steps out of the trailer. His wife's like, I don't think so. Put a shirt on. He's like, but Ben's shirtless. She's like, you're not Ben. He's like, I have to tolerate. He's your family. I have to tolerate that, but you're my husband. And I'm telling you, you're not walking around shirtless. And I'm thinking, I don't know. There's people with way worse bodies than Doug walking around.
Oh, man.
Still was the best the year. He forgot to get a haircut before leaving. And so he's like, screw it, just shave my head. Oh, because he went to a barber shop. It was like a 2-hour wait. So he's like, screw it. Because I had my clippers with you. I'm like, all right. But the guard wouldn't work because he's got RoboPad hair or whatever. And if you see, he's white. So I just, no guard it, right? Just decked him down. And he really had that tan line he was doing this year. He really had that year, right? So, but the problem was the hair stuck to the grass and it wouldn't blow away. So it looked like we killed an albino squirrel for about a week. And it was right at the edge of the campsite. Like, what the hell is that? Albino squirrel.
That's
Like, no,
funny.
it's
Yeah, I'm getting to that point where it's gonna be, soon.
I've had the
Soon I'll be.
red spot in between the.
I was gonna say, I think I do have a photo of him mid-cut, which he just looks like he would play the angry neighbor on a sitcom. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, and he hates it when I show it. But
Oh, then you should absolutely show it as often as
oh,
possible.
exactly. Oh, there it is. And the look on his face.
Oh, nice. Jeez. Wow.
Now, granted, the man has a full head of hair normally, but that's where he stopped shaving it. There's the dome.
I thought my hair was white. Jeez, Doug.
Yeah, he's only 6 months older than me.
Yeah, but that took 20 years off him.
Yeah. Oh, he was going one of those guys going gray in his 20s.
Yeah, I started going gray in my early 30s. Like my facial hair. That's why I didn't really grow it when I was
He
younger.
dyed his hair for his wedding.
I'm never gonna dye my hair.
Maybe she should be more concerned about leaving the house with a hat rather than a shirt.
Well, there's I remember. Yeah, he dyed his hair for his wedding because he's like, yeah, I didn't want the wedding photos to look weird. Like, she's my second wife. Like, I get it.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I get it, dude. I get it.
20. That's hilarious.
And I'm sure he's having a
Reasons
grand
why
old
I'm
time.
always in a hat too.
I always
Yeah.
wear a hat.
Yeah, me too. I can't wear one I can't wear one at work in the clean room, but I normally don't wear one to work, but eventually I'll get to the point where I'm just gonna shave it. Not there yet. Still
I used to
holding
shave my
on.
head. Fun fact, I used to shave my head.
Wow.
Yeah. I went from having no hair to all the hair.
Well, how long is it now? You just pulled it back still, or? Oh, it's still okay. All right, so it's still all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Waist.
That's pretty long.
Yeah. I keep meaning to get it cut, but Amanda's
you
going to cut it one day. Just
You
to
could
take
donate
off
it. Yeah, you could
I'll put
donate
it
it to do that. I don't know if they do that in Canada, where they donate it. They
Yep.
do it here. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. How many feet do you need? How many kids need hair?
Right, absolutely. You can do that. A fundraiser.
Yeah, those hair days are over with the high hairline and the gray.
Yeah, I don't want to skull it. If I grew everything else, it'd be like a skull.
Well, no, see,
Look like
you can
riffraff.
as long as you keep it as like the full-on gray, because then you just look like the old hippie dude who's bald with a ponytail.
Well,
Yeah, but I mean, mine grows out. I mean, I'd
But,
have
yeah,
like
see,
this.
yeah, you can't
I'd have
do the
like the
purple
Steve
fro.
Rosen afro,
Yeah.
and it'd be like way out here,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'd like to see Tony with long hair. That'd be cool. Have to get a wig on him.
yeah,
one day.
I'd like to see Tony with long hair.
Oh, speaking
Never
of
gonna
guitar
happen
stuff,
again.
we
Nah.
forgot to mention it, Tony, and we're an hour and a half in. I had an idea tomorrow night, folks. I was going to go old school and actually play guitar on air.
Ooh.
I was going to try a new, because I've got better internet or better cell reception here.
I
as of
remember
late.
that. I remember those days.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
thought we'd
Ben
give that a
Payne
shot
section.
tomorrow night.
Right
Cool.
on.
Right. So I meant to message Terry about that. Terry, I will not need your services tomorrow night, hopefully, as far as co-hosting.
Yeah, but Keith, you have hair. You still
Yes,
have
and
hair.
we can dust off the micro drummer and maybe even get out some Greasy Weasel. If I remember how to play it. Should be able to. Plus, I've been working on a couple other songs too, so I can kind of throw them out there and see what you guys think. Hey,
So
AC
an
Music.
old school Canuck show in store for tomorrow.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
I was looking through my closet and I found my Canucks with guitar shirt. But I didn't put
Dan
it
in New
on.
Jersey says, "Can we hear that rainbow pedal?"
Ooh.
Maybe.
Whatever you were playing yesterday, the tone you had yesterday, you had every LPD pedal going. But that tone was amazing. I loved it. It's fantastic.
That's the tone I'll start with tomorrow night.
Yeah. Man.
or with the less gain to start with. I don't know. It depends on what I start out playing.
Yeah. So. It sounded really good.
Yeah. Yeah, because instead of having 1 bar of cell, I got 2 bars. And that tells me I know I can upload faster than this connection. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good, dude.
So I'll just make sure the phone's fully charged and then
Hands
have a
are
battery
good,
pack
bad?
ready. Hands are not bad. Good days and bad, after playing. But I noticed, like, I can come in here and give her for half an hour. And, like, I'm just, whatever I want to do. And then sometimes they'll just start acting up. And then it's like, okay, wash them with some warm water. And that seems to help. But other than that, yeah, I'd like to see if I can, go a full hour of playing of some kind, Although it probably won't be full songs necessarily, especially copyright, but see if I can noodle and talk like I used to, at least, and not have hand cramps 45 minutes in.
Anything you use on, like, Icy Hot or anything?
Yeah, 8535. Yeah, right in the muscles. Mm-hmm. So, because they crack all the time, anyways. Like, my hands are pretty messed up, but on good days, and the dexterity and the speed has been improved. I was like, holy crap, like I can actually do some runs. And now I got to learn the damn scales to fit the hand ability. Because before that, I'm like, I only need a pentatonic, Tony, because I can't do multi-finger stuff, 3 notes per string stuff. So,
well,
can I demonstrate some more a little? Yeah, we can give her a shot.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes.
Playing tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. According to this. All right. Hey, Hobo Roadie. By the way, still keep meaning. I gotta reply to Hobo Roadie. Email.
Yeah, we're almost into June. May's gone.
I know, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry's heard me noodling when he's jumped on calls, like last night, similar situation. So.
Yeah.
Plus, I've been dialing some decent fucking tones, Tony. I got a few nice tones going on.
Cool.
So, I'd like to share those.
Yeah.
Without the hassle of setting up and making a video about it. Yeah. Just do it live.
Absolutely.
Hey, Butt Cheeks is back.
I'm back.
Maybe I'll even play some Cigar Box tomorrow night.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. I'll be playing Slide for the first time in ages. Dang it. Because as he looks around, where's the slide? Right in the coffee mug. I always think that. And then the coffee mug over there has like 4 slides in it because I put them all in there. Oh, there's the slide right there.
Totally addicted to ceramic slides now. That's all I'm going to play.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just like the feel of it.
Yeah.
Now,
is that titanium?
Magnesium. So it's super light.
What metal and glass one sounds like?
I prefer the sound of glass.
Yeah, I like the sound,
but I don't like gigging with glass. Because generally you get 2 gigs out of a slide. Glass one. Yeah, because if you don't break it during the first gig, you're going to break it during the second. And whenever you gig with a glass slide, you have another slide that's metal handy anyways, because in case you break it. So
you could get
might as well just leave the glass ones at home. Excuse me, at home.
Do the metal one and be like Paul Gilbert and just stick it on his guitar. Get the magnet. And,
I thought that's so cool, and the way you can almost throw it onto it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. I like the feel of the ceramic and the sound. Sounds like glass, but it's sturdier. But I mean,
and what finger do you use per slide?
The ring finger.
Ring finger. Okay.
Yeah.
Pop showed up. Says just got here. Please start over.
Okay.
Oh, you missed it, Quentin. We had a live report from the Charlotte Motor Speedway infield during the race. It was noisy.
Yeah.
There was blood. I use it on the pinky myself, so I can still chord.
Okay.
If I want to.
Oh,
Yeah, because half the time I don't even bother going to open tuning because I'm like, I'll just play with the D, G, and B anyways
Right.
together, and fake it. And that way too, I know as far as like if I want to actually try to do some form of scale, I don't have to try to transpose it because it's an open tuning. I never learned the shapes yet.
Sure.
I say yet because I figure at some point I might actually learn slide, instead of just faking it.
That's my
Hey,
goal.
Dale. He says, just arriving too. Yes, start over, please. At least he said please. Oh, no, they both said please. Dang it. Politeness.
Yeah, Quentin's polite. That he is. I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah, I got all the flavors. So I got my magnesium.
Uh-huh.
Got the glass.
Yeah.
Easy. Got the brass.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, that one it'd be copper because it be corroded, as was the other one, which is not.
Nice.
And this one corroded within a day or two of me owning it, I think. Oh, picks in here. Sweet. I found 3 picks.
Nice.
Oh, that one's just chewed right up.
My
There you go,
glass
Tony.
slide.
That's how hard I am on picks. That would have been a gig pick. Oh, that's the one with the blood stain on it. All right.
Wow.
Yep. That was one set. With the blood. Well, I did an overzealous pick slide, and I used my knuckles instead of the pick.
Oh.
And then I didn't notice, and I was like, wow, I can really grip these picks. Like, these kick ass. And I look down, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of blood on the white telly. And then I'm like, can we wrap this up? And the singer's like, why? I'm like, this? She's like, oh. And I think I looked over to Mark. I'm like, Band-Aids, please. And he's like, okay. Where are they? I'm like, dang it, in my wallet, in my back pocket. I'll get them. Don't worry about it.
Hold up that glass slide of yours again. Mine has the tapered end. Makes it a little easier to.
Oh, like a pill bottle? Yeah, that's just super pinky
Yeah,
slide.
mine on one end has got a little.
This one, I think this one, like, it's really thin glass. Like, I think I've had glass slides before that were much thicker glass than this.
The glass ones I had, I made. I had little glass cutters. I made them out of little test tubes.
Oh, yeah.
And but I have a metal one.
Nice. And I'm not
Copper
smart
one.
enough. I can't use those little like ring slides, where you can just slide one string. I'm like, get out of here.
I bought this wooden one that's really like polished up.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I wouldn't think so.
I just don't. It doesn't.
The
It
size.
yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm like,
well,
I'm sorry,
size,
physics.
yeah. The size,
Yeah,
yeah, but it doesn't really.
Physics.
Would be
Wood.
good for
There's no wood that's harder than metal that I'm aware of.
No, and it's
Like even
doesn't.
ironwood,
Right.
and that's not ironwood.
But I like this is the ceramic one that I like. Awesome.
Nice.
And I had 2 of them, but when I gave John gave John 5 the shovel, I had the other one with. He goes, "Man, I like that slide. I need one." I go, "Oh, there, you keep it." so he's got the slide too, but that's okay.
You got the guitar and the slide to go along with it.
Yeah, but
Accessories included.
absolutely. But yeah, but Ben, and I made my little custom pick holder, cut off a drumstick, and it's a slide holder. Ding.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I would say I got a bunch of spare trim springs. I might do some pick holders with.
now those trim springs are tough when you stretch them, because I made a little portable amp, kind of like this.
This thing is ingenious, though.
I made a little amp like this,
Oh yes.
and I had a little area inside here, and I used a trim spring. I cut it and stretched it and put it in there, and yeah.
These little things here, I mean,
I've got a box of them.
you go
Cool.
in and it stays.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know,
I just have them scattered around here and then the bowl over there. If I
you
can't find
can't-
any on the desk.
you just grab it out and it goes back in anywhere. And
Yep. Yes.
Found one of my Master 8 picks, so I can start using it again.
You have one, Keith. I gave you one. Sent you one. Keith.
You could mount these little things anywhere, or you could mount just the spring itself.
Yeah, I toyed around with mounting one on one of the cigar box guitars, and
I would think a mount somehow either on a mic stand, or if that you would just I put just a piece of Velcro on it right on top of an amp.
yeah. That's what I did. I had Velcro. I actually stuck it to the side of the guitar, like
Sure.
but it didn't really work. So
They
I always use
say
one of those
the-
rubber things on the mic stand, put all my
Yeah.
picks in. The problem with those is that's the one piece of gear you always leave at a gig.
right.
I still remember we were setting up after playing a gig in Toronto, and I'm like, no! And the other guitar player's like, what? I'm like, I forgot my pick holder at the bar in Toronto. And he starts laughing his off. He's like, you asshole. And then he opens up his accessory case, and he's like, fuck, I left mine there too. I'm like, well. I'm like, don't worry, I'll buy the long one and cut it in half, and we'll go halvesies.
I don't like this wooden one. Oh well.
Too warm. Too warm. Gotta have a little snarl with the cigar box. I think I prefer metal slides on the cigar box. For that reason.
Love my ceramics. You can get the old box of copper fittings at the box store. Just, go nuts with it. Bling.
I was going to say in the chat, what's your favorite slide in the chat?
Yeah.
Assuming you play slide.
Everybody can play slide.
It's like everybody can play guitar. Just some can play it well.
Better.
Or better. Which is true. You can show the very basic of guitar playing, especially if like an open tuning or something. Hey, Mark Dillon. And show something very rudimentary, and then you can be making up songs in no time. But then you want to be Eddie Van Halen, it takes a while.
Yeah.
Some of us more than a lifetime, apparently, because I'm not there yet. I think guitar is like the law. You got to keep practicing it. Hey, Basement Guitar Superstar.
Amanda likes the kind that comes with 2 swings and monkey bars. That's the kind of slide she likes.
Yeah.
If it's metal though, don't slide in the summertime. You'll burn your butt.
Oh, since Amanda's in the chat, I was gonna tease Tony. What is it? The Canada Day special on your channel, Saturday, July the 2nd, I believe it is.
2nd.
Amanda and myself will be invading the channel once again, so except both of us. Me again, her first time. And that night for trivia, Amanda, you and I are going head to head on Canadian rock band trivia.
I may or not be here for that show because I'd be on vacation, but I may jump in from vacation. Usually we go away last week of June, first week of July, Lake
Nice.
George.
Yeah,
Oh my God, what? Yes, Amanda, you're playing your brother.
yeah.
And,
It's
trivia.
something kind of came up with either on air or off air last night. Sorry, I forgot to text you.
You got about a month to practice and bone up on
Yeah.
your stuff.
Just listen to a bunch of Canadian music, I guess. Rock. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
See, she says, oh man, I'm going to lose. But as I said to Tony, I said, not necessarily, because if it's a band I don't care for, I just dismiss them and know nothing about them.
Right.
And there are a lot of Canadian bands too. A lot of Canadian bands.
And yes, I want to say rest in peace, Ronnie Hawkins passed away at the age of 87 today.
Oh wow.
For those who don't know, Ronnie Hawkins brought rock and roll to Canada. He introduced rock and roll to Canada, basically. Unless you could possibly get it on a radio, but he came up, let's say, early mid-50s, and he's from Helena, Arkansas, same hometown as Levon Helm, and a good friend of my dad's, C.W. Gatlin, and came up here, put together a backing band called the Hawks. Tony, you might have heard of the Hawks. They were also known as the band,
Yeah.
but they later became the band because Ronnie Hawkins and the Hawks were playing, and Bob Dylan went, I like those guys backing up the Hawk. Hey, you guys going to want to go play for me? Like, okay, because the Hawk's cool and all, but that's not Dylan money. Dylan can pay for a backing band. So.
Yeah, but there are a lot of bands. Ben and me were talking about Canadian bands, and in my mind, I think, well, let's think of 10 probably. And then we thought, well, how many Canadian bands do I have guitar picks from? And we made a list, and it's 20.
Pretty impressive.
Some. It's huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Imagine.
All right. See you, Johnny. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
But gonna make for a very fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see if I have some rock and roll memorabilia kicking around that I could show off, perhaps. Worst case, maybe you can find one of Dad's old show posters or something to show off.
Yeah, a lot of bands on that list, dude.
Oh, yeah. And for those who may or may not know, Roy Buchanan, you might have heard of him if you're a guitar player. He also played with Ronnie Hawkins in the Hawks. And I believe he started as their bass player. He wasn't even a guitar player. He was a bass player to start with. That's quite all right, Brendan. That's quite all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on out of here. I don't know how much longer you guys are going, but
we need to go till the top of the hour.
Thank you for the invite. As always.
Thank you for the appearance.
Love hanging with you guys.
The channel's always buddier when you're around.
I love hanging with you guys.
Yeah. It was fun last night. Fun again tonight.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I will see everybody soon. Much love. And be good.
See you, Brendan.
Take care, guys.
Later.
See you, my man.
Right on.
He says TK and Ben rattled off 27. Oh, I could rattle off 27 Canadian bands. Easy. I might be able to do that for a few provinces.
We made quite a long list. I never imagined
We did.
it'd be that.
Yeah, and we didn't even go in the deep dive stuff because there's like bands that play with bands and it's funny because being a smaller country, like anything else, the scene, let's say, the country is 1/10 the size, so the scene is 1/10 the size. So like you think of like the Pete Thorns of the world, the professional sidemen, which there is a lot of them that happen to be Canadian, but on a Canadian level, like I'm friends with him through Facebook, Stan Myzik. His resume, like, because he puts up because he gets Facebook memories come over, flashbacks. He'll put up flashback photos, and he had been in, and not necessarily the original member, but he had started out with Harem Scarum, who did have a hit in the U.S., which I can't remember what the hit was, but they had a hit. Harem Scarum. He also spent time in Helix, the Killer Dwarves, Honeymoon Suite. He was Sass Jordan's bass player, still is Sass Jordan's bass player. I think he's currently the bass player for the iteration of the Guess Who that's touring as the Guess Who, which without Burton Cummings or Randy Bachman, I don't know what you have really. And apparently not even the original bass player, so it might be the original drummer, if anybody at this point.
Yeah.
And that's just off the top of my head. Like, it was 6-7 major acts at one time. Because if you needed a bass player, you hired Stan.
Right.
He had learned the material. He also does a kick-ass Tom Petty tribute act where he's playing guitar and not bass. Really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to, so it'll be you and Amanda on July 2nd. Cool.
Amanda says we are hilarious people. Can be.
So yeah, you'll have an unboxing on that night, and there'll be.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell her about that either. Yeah, I have an unboxing for us that night apparently.
Both. Let's just say you both have an unboxing.
BC Rich says, Sass Jordan, didn't Taylor Hawkins start with her also? I know he played with Alanis Morissette. I don't know if he played with Sass Jordan as well. Yes, for us. For us. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Keith with the trivia. Taylor was with Alanis. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that worked out exactly, how that backing band was put together, because Taylor's not Canadian. I don't think. I don't think he was Canadian.
I don't know.
Because was it when JJ was on last week, some of the members of his band, because his band is like two bands that merged together, and the other band that merged with JJ's band had gone through several lineup changes over the years, but a number of years ago, the original drummer was Taylor Hawkins in that band. And so there's kind of a connection there. It's kind of neat.
Right.
Hey, Cushman. Stephen Douglas, good to see you.
Yeah, now July 2 is what day? Is that like
Hangover Day?
Amanda's birthday that day, or
her birthday is on the 5th.
What was that day?
Which was what, a Tuesday, right? So I think, I don't know, Amanda, are you doing double duty that weekend? Are you doing Tony's show Saturday night and then this show Sunday night? I don't know. She will let us know because it's her birthday weekend. Who are we to say, Tony? If she wants to invade a couple channels, she can do that.
Right on.
I guess we'll wait in the chat. We'll find out. Which means that's one less guest I have to book going forward. That's fine. That's nice.
Yeah. That'll be a fun show.
Yeah.
That'll be totally
always fun when Amanda and I hang. That's what he's saying. Do it 2 nights in a row? Sure. Oh, I'm thinking she says, oh, weekend takeover. So that's probably a yes. So, yes.
There you go. So, the 4th is on a Monday this year. So,
yeah, I think her birthday would be the Tuesday. So, and then Dad's is a week and a half after that. His is on the 15th.
Right on.
Which I think 75 this year.
Yeah.
We got 48 people watching. If you haven't already, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some Danny Gatton stuff going. Yeah, Danny Gatton playing with a full beer. I've done that. I've done that. It's not a full beer by the end of the song. But we had a song that was just literally second, because we played in drop C. It was 2nd fret up to 12th fret, 2nd fret, 12th fret somehow. That's the whole song, basically. So we just did the song as an encore, and so I just have a beer on the go and use it. And usually as an encore, I'd use an empty beer bottle because it was the encore and there was no beer left.
Yeah. You have channel membership here.
I do.
And cool stuff that goes with it too.
Yeah. There's some exclusive content up for members only. 1 or more videos a month, and then a couple of times a month we do a Zoom hang because StreamYard limits you to 10 people. And fortunately, we have more than that in the channel members and the patrons they get included too. And we hang at least a couple times a month, and that's fun, because I don't know how many people you can put on the Zoom things, but it's really cool. And you're like, hey, that's what that guy looks like, and that's what that. And I'll be honest, Tony, we do a few of those hangs. I kind of look for future guests. You know what I'm saying? Like BC Rich 581. We did one of those calls, and I'm like, we gotta do a show together. Like, you're a cool cat.
Right on.
Which reminds me, Guitar Man 45. I want to hit him up. Have him on. We did a show on Dave's channel together, but I like to have a Guitar Man 45 on. He is a hoot, Tony. Oh my. And he's got some wick. He pops on the call. He's sitting there and he's got a Friedman, a Soldano, and something else that was like another Marshall style, but better. I was like, oh, you got all the flavors there. He goes, well, the Marshalls are over here off camera. And he's got a machine shop in the background. I was like, oh, that's a nice setup. I could do some serious tinkering in there, musically or mechanically.
Yeah, those Zoom calls, members, they are cool. And the videos you do also. So if you're not a member already, you should be, right?
There's a few tiers, and it really helps me out, keeps these things going. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely should. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about the paying for Zoom. I don't know. I let Charles set it up, and Charles does Zoom for work. So I think we're using his work account or something. I don't. I didn't say that officially. All I say is, Tony, in the video, I'll literally say, because I like to do an update. Usually right in and around the first of the month, I'll do an update video. And I'll just say, hey, Charles, how about you set up this at this time? And if you don't catch it in the video, then I post it day of or day before on the community tab on the channel, which have your notifications on. Then you'll know. You'll get, and it'll say it. And there's the link. Or you go over to Patreon if you're a patron, and there's the link right there to click on. Thank you, Seth. Should put a link to your channel in the chat. Everyone should subscribe to Tony. And you're on twice a week, unless it's some live remote. I'm about to do something really cool, and I'm hanging out with this other cool person, and we're going to do this. And we're like, that's
once in
cool.
a while, we're
have a good time.
Yeah.
But Wednesdays and Saturdays, Tony decided some time ago, first of all, there was Show Me Your Pick, which started out, and this is when I found out Tony owns all the picks in the world, or close to it. And if he doesn't have it, it's on order, or he's searching for it. There's algorithms, I'm sure, going. It looks like the Matrix at his house. I'm sure he's got all these search algorithms. Oh, found it, it's over here. And he's like, really? In Sweden? All right, buy it now, whatever. And then, are you open for a trade? And the guy's like, well, what do you have to trade? And Tony says, everything. And the guy's like, all right, so we maybe. And so it's a different artist or band or event. There's a theme, is what I'm saying. You come up with a different theme every week. And I like that it's not always necessarily just a guitar player, because there's other people in the band that use picks. And it's not even just picks. Sometimes it's show me your sticks. Drummers. He hasn't done a show me your microphone yet. And I don't blame you. Those things get really mungy. You don't want to touch the microphone.
No.
And then you dip your toe. You're just like, you know what? I know a thing or two about that Eddie guy. I'm a bit of a fan. I'm just saying. And some other friends that know a thing or two about Eddie. And so you start this Halenville deal. And I was just like, I kind of like that. Because first of all, it wasn't Eddie Van Halen. It was Halenville. Because you was like, no, we're keeping Little Wolfgang involved as well. And if Alex decides to speak up in life, we'll talk about him too. Right. But Alex, I think, has said 14 words since I signed their first record contract. The man doesn't speak, is what I'm saying. So you start doing the Halenville, And at first, I'm watching. I'm like, okay, it's a few fan guys hanging out, talking Eddie. I'm like, I get it. And Eddie, a lot of Eddie fans. We can have a few Eddie opinion shows because there's more than one opinion on Eddie. And I dig it. I'm looking at you, Andrew. I dig it. So, and then hey, Steve Anderson. Speaking of Eddie heads,
Hey,
what's up,
Steve.
Steve Anderson? And then you start pulling these guests. I'm like, how would a fella know this person? You're like, well, a fella knows this person who knew this. I'm like, well, whatever. That's cool. Good on you. Because we had said off air last night, it's like we're not network TV shows. We're just guys hanging out in rooms with webcams. If we can get a guest that any of you fine folks are remotely interested in hearing a conversation with, or an interview or whatever, because your show, much like mine, it can be an interview or it can just simply be a conversation, which I love.
Right.
And you've been knocking it out of the park the last few months. I say few months, it could be a year at this point. I don't know. But 6 months, like, has been the ramp up. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, you got those guys. I'm like, all right, kudos. So
Yeah. Well,
everyone should check it out, is what I'm saying after that. Does that count as a rant, Keith? We haven't done a rant for Keith tonight.
it is fun though. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you get to you're not locked into just doing one. Like if you had done just Halenville, for instance, and I know you love Van Halen, it could get a lot tiresome easier. But since you have Show Me Your Pick, you get to switch things up all the time. So it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, well, it does, and that's where it started. It started with the memorabilia, and yeah, I am a huge Van Halen fan, and that was natural. But you mentioned a lot of the stuff that a lot of that is true, though, as far as it, um, but to me, it's the people that you meet along the way, and
Mm-hmm.
some you get to know, and some you don't. But where they come from to sell this stuff, there's guitar techs from back in the day, and roadies back in the day,
Right.
bus drivers. There's current day guys out there, you know, um, but
And
it
you know what, Tony? Call me
everyone in
weird,
between.
which several people have called me weird, but I'm just as happy listening to, say, a guitar tech or a roadie for a band that, say, toured with them for 5 years during their heyday, talking stories as much as one of the band members talking the stories. Because you know what I mean? Because
Right.
anybody that's played music, hello, Kurt, welcome, man. Uh, anybody that's you show up, or like a gig, you load in at 7:30 and you're leaving at 2:30 in the morning. There's a lot of time in between, where you're playing a set, and there's other bands hanging out, and there's these interactions and this and that, and that's where the stories are.
Oh
You know
yeah.
that, Tony. Like, you go to a concert, your story of going to that concert starts the moment you get picked up by a buddy or you're picking up that buddy,
Right. Of course. Yeah.
and those are the stories.
The the memorabilia stuff was how I met Steve Rosen, and um, you know, a rock journalist that all of us know, and I had known
Hmm.
him a few years, and it was me and him who dreamt "Show Me Your Pick" up,
Right.
um, and it was actually "Show Me Your Pick" that came off of Steve's list of show names, actually. So you can say he named that. But yeah, and Steve still stops by. We're waiting
Hmm.
on his new book. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, still. But yeah, Steve, he was on board for almost the whole first year of Show Me Your Pick. Yeah. And then
Gotcha.
he got real busy. Um, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, just those types of people. It is some are cool, and you know, But some, I've seen some, there's bands out there. People ask me, how do you get the newest of this band?
Oh, you
I'm
mean
not
like
going to
last
mention
night
it.
when you're showing off? Here's the pics that Kiss are using this weekend. I'm like,
Well, not
how?
not Kiss, not Kiss, but other bands where
Yeah,
they, I don't know how they would get away with it, but they do sell their bands. They work for, and they, sell their band stuff, whether their band knows about it or not.
right.
I just want stuff.
Hey, hey, hey! It fell off a truck. Whatever. I don't care. It's here. And apparently, it's Thomas Santiago's birthday. Happy birthday,
Yes,
Thomas
right
Santiago.
on.
I may have said that at the top of the show, but based off certain lifestyle choices, I forgot.
I know. And for me, I
Or it could have
thought
been
it
last night I
was,
wished you a happy birthday. I don't
I thought it
know.
was yesterday.
Well, either way, happy birthday weekend.
I guess we're both wrong. Happy birthday, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll go a few more minutes here, folks. Get any comments, concerns, questions, and I don't know. It's just been fun hanging out. We literally just continued to have, it's like, wow, we didn't really go any direction tonight, and that's fine because it's a continuation of last night. And,
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Charles had to work late. That's okay. That's fine. Which I don't know if I
So
replied to him. I meant to say no problem, buddy.
we went really, really long. We had a after party, and it we had the idea to to bring people in the green room after
Ah,
a broadcast, and to make it fun. We see our friends in the chat, but it was just another way to make it more, a little more. And we ran a um, contest and had one, and it was so much fun. Um, had a bunch of
exactly, Keith. That's what hangs are all about.
the
Freeform.
people that watched the show, that won the yeah, and we've done it a few times now, and we
See you
do
hitting
it
my
from
works.
time to time. Every 4, 5, 6 months, we'll do another one. Um, but yeah, I really like those.
Yeah, they are fun.
Yeah,
I got to meet Keith Campbell virtually last night, which is cool, and Christopher Soa, that was cool, and Chris Hunter, I
yeah,
got to meet. It's
and
really cool.
Holly Lewis. I've
Dale
never met
Boyle's going to watch my Telly
her before.
Backbow after this hang. Cool. Watch all 3 parts. So, yeah.
Yeah,
And if you haven't already, please leave a thumbs up. And a reminder, coming up this week, tomorrow night, apparently I'm going to play guitar on air. Ooh, haven't done that in a while. So make sure to keep an eye on the hands tomorrow. But yeah, barring any problems, we're going to do that. And I will set up through StreamYard, so just in case if we have issues, we can bail out and figure out something else. NAS Canucks on Tuesday, as long as Doug makes it back into the country on time. That, which apparently it's 21 laps to go according to Hip Metalworks. So the way his boy runs down there, he may win the race, and that means Doug will still be hungover on Tuesday. Perfect. Soda pop tasting video on Wednesday. Don't know what flavor yet. Have to look in the fridge.
I like those. I like those videos.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. Lately, it's funny because I'll say, "Oh, like the other day I forgot to shoot a video, and I was cooking dinner, so I was like, what would go well with what I'm eating for dinner?" So that's when I chose the pop I chose. So
Yeah.
yes, same time tomorrow. Hip Metalworks. We'll see you, buddy. And then Friday. Oh, geez, I gotta throw something on the workbench. I gotta figure out something new to work on. I don't know, something. What needs to be worked on? Maybe we'll finally get Operation Grub Screws taken care of, so I'm not digging out the hand anymore on the telly. I'll wear out the
Everything
strings
in
some more.
shape's a good thing. for sure. If everything's in shape.
Nice. Hey, Ben. New pedal day. Nice. What'd you get? He says, love you, the classic car. Yeah, Ben drives by here to and from work every day. Awesome, buddy. Thought so. I hear the honks. I just recently picked up, where is it? There it is. The Keeley Hydra, which is a reverb and tremolo, which I'm really digging.
Right on.
But I'm not using it right now for that board because that board's staying that way. I'm using all different pedals for that board as it gets built. That should be fun. It's getting there. Well, I got to figure out, have I figured out a flanger yet? I got a chorus. I got a phaser. I don't think I got a flanger yet. Work on a flanger. Which flanger will be on there? Got to have all the pedals, Tony. Got to have them all.
Live Music Canucks Monday.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I've done it.
Looking
Better part of a year, maybe? Yeah. I bet you it's been a year. Hey, Keith. Oh, you got an old blood noise procession. Nice.
And I can say it won't be after work either.
That's right. You got the day off tomorrow. This is true.
I need to
Hey,
day
Ron.
off tomorrow. Man, I woke up this morning and
And a Friedman OD Golden Pearl. Ooh. Which that's sweet. I haven't tried that.
I think
That's
we
awesome.
I think
Up in your
we
game.
overdid it a little bit. I don't know that I can speak for all of us, but oh Lord.
You weren't feeling a lot of pain when I got off the call last night.
We win another hour.
Closer to 2 years.
So.
You might be right, Terry. You know what? I may not have played since like Mom was still alive. Because I remember I was having some hand issues at that time. Because she was the one that got me using the A535. She's like, I know your hands have been bugging you. I got you this at the drugstore. I'm like, all right. Didn't seem to work. Keep some of that handy tomorrow night too. Should be kept in here anyways. But yeah. On that note, we should wrap things up. We've got a couple hours here. It's been fun. Oh, Ron just got a Donner Vintiverb. Cool. Right on. I dig it. So yeah, definitely check out Fruitcake Tony every Tuesday. No, that's mine. Every Wednesday at 9 and every Saturday at 9 on the Fruitcake Tony YouTube channel right here on YouTube because it's convenient to keep it. It's best to keep the YouTube channels on YouTube, I find. They're much easier to find that way. So we've been having folks put the link in to Tony's channel in the chat if you haven't subscribed already. Got a great community over there, very similar to my community. It's really cool. The biggest difference is Tony gives away prizes, and I don't. He does trivia. He gives away prizes. And it's cool stuff. Like, and you don't know. You don't know. He's like, oh, you're going to win one of these tonight. You're like, really? He's like, yep. Really? Yep.
We like to give away stuff. You know, I mean, it makes the viewers and the live chatters a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
More. So that was the initial.
Hey,
we did that from day one, you know. But yeah, we talk all things Van Halen every Wednesday. If you're a Van Halen fan, stop by.
And man, you guys, you cover all the bases because you'll do, let's call it a fanboy show one week. We'll call it that, you know, which is just strictly fan perception. You know, yeah, this album, it's really good, you know. And then another week, it's going to be technical, you know, which is awesome, which something like I used to do with Dave. Like you guys would do deep dives, like you get the right people on, you know, like if you don't know exactly what to talk about, you're going to have on the guests that know what to talk about, you know, very informed and knowledgeable, like Donnie and Chris from Lock Custom Guitars. Industry standard people and great guys. And then with the Show Me Your Pick, that's just a wild card because man, you guys cover, and it's not just your usual same top 20 guitar players that every flipping channel talks about, which fine, but every channel's talking about them. Every once in a while, Tony is like, we're doing this guy. I'm like, fuck, I haven't thought of that guy in ages, and he's awesome. Thank you for doing that show. Like, I don't know, Striper, great band. Not enough people talk about it. And you did a great show. And you're like, check this out. Industry standard show. Boom. Dropped.
Well, there's the whole idea behind that was to do a different player or band every week, and so do I have enough guitar picks of this band or player to make an episode with? And the answer to that is there's years worth of episodes.
Ryan asks, is Patreon the best way to help? Yes, actually, Patreon, they take the least amount. Patreon is the best way to help the channel for sure. And you get the same content you do if you're a channel member. The only difference is you don't get the custom emojis and the tick next to your name in the chat.
Right.
Which I don't. If you were planning on doing above the minimum tier, for instance, Tony, I would say just do the minimum of both. Then you can have both if you want. I don't know. Because I think the minimum tier on both is $1 or $2 or something like that. So a month. Keith Campbell says we should do a Roy Clark show me your pick.
We can do that.
Roy Clark was the first concert I ever went to.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I could come on and say that, and then I'm done after that, Tony. That's all I got. He's my first concert. But have you done the Waylon Jennings episode yet?
I haven't. Now,
Keith, can we do it? Can't. And I'll invade that one because I can talk about Waylon for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you watch Show Me Your Pick on Saturday night, you see a lot of rock themed shows, and I like my rock. We all do, but I do have many country shows that are planned.
You're showing off the Blake Shelton pick last night.
I'm trying to. I've done a George Strait episode.
Yep.
But all these people who you're mentioning the country episodes. I could just do country episodes and spend a year doing them.
Agreed to both bands, Will Murray, that you mentioned. You mentioned Slaughter and Trickster, both great bands.
Yeah, but
hey, Des, thanks for stopping in, sweetie. Hope you're doing okay.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing all the stuff on Facebook. She's been sharing both her memories as well as some stuff from Dave's account. I appreciate it. It's nice. It's nice.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So we have Craig Stofko as our guest Wednesday. CHS Guitars. Yeah.
Hell of a painter and a good player. And ask him about his full-on wet, dry, wet rig, because he's got a full-on wet, dry, wet rig.
Yeah.
Unless his wife made him get rid of the full wet, dry, wet rig.
No, I think he's still.
He probably still has it.
Yeah.
It was in the living room, so I was like, "Wow, that's full-on domination situation." I don't know about that. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad we went a little longer here because Des stopped in. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow night I'm going to play some guitar. So,
right.
Spin Doctors, great band.
So
other than that, I think we'll wrap things up here. Of course, hold the line, and we'll talk off air. Thank you, everybody that tuned in tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know all about the wet, dry, wet in the living room. That's right, Des.
Thanks for having me, dude. Thanks for having us on tonight.
Yeah. And thanks for
On
having me
behalf of
on
all
last
the
night.
Charles, Brendan, Sandra.
Yep.
Sandra's at Queensryche tonight
Yes.
in Madison, her and Ricky. Yeah.
Which is cool. So yeah, be back tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Please subscribe, ring the bell, and all that fun stuff. Links to cool stuff. Nope, I didn't put the links in tonight. I was going to try something different, like we had talked about last night off air. Tried something different tonight. I don't have all the links in the chat tonight. I have links to Tony. That's all you need to know. Tony's links in the chat.
Thank
You
you.
on that? Want to look for other links? Click on another video. That'll work. Excuse me. Gary says he's going to plug in the studio monitors for that one. Well, I apologize now. Guitar will more or less be in tune. I swear I tune it, and then I start doing the gorilla fretting, and it's not in tune anymore. So
You got the cool kids in your chat, Ben. Yeah, we'll see you
we
guys
do.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night,
Yeah.
hold those doors open. Let Doug's wife heading in traffic because she's rocking alone because we know Doug's down in Charlotte. Do God knows what at this point. Whew. Yep, we'll see. Be good to each other. Happy tone chasing. And of course, don't litter. Don't litter.